Welcome listeners to Knol, where we distill the essence of popular books into engaging, bite-sized narratives. Today, we summarize Spencer Johnson's Who Moved My Cheese, a timeless parable on dealing with change. Whether you're navigating through personal or professional landscapes, this story offers invaluable insights on how to adapt, survive, and thrive in an ever-shifting world. So, sit back and let's explore the maze of life together, uncovering the secrets of embracing change. Imagine stepping into a maze, a sprawling labyrinth of unknown twists and turns that mirror the journey of life itself. This is where our story unfolds in Spencer Johnson's captivating parable, Who Moved My Cheese? We're not alone in this maze. We're in the company of four characters, each embodying the myriad ways we as humans react to the inevitable change. First up are Sniff and Scurry, two little creatures. Sniff, blessed with the ability to sniff out change, represents those of us who can detect shifts in our environment early on. Scurry, on the other hand, is all about action. Quick, decisive, and eager to move. Together, they exemplify a proactive approach when the winds of change begin to stir. Then there are Hem and Haw, a bit more complex since they're supposed to think and act like us, wearing the cap of human emotions and beliefs. Hem is the epitome of resistance, a character who denies and resists change, hoping it will simply vanish if ignored long enough. Haw, initially hesitant as well, is different. After some time, he learns to adapt, realizing that fear of the unknown can be more debilitating than the journey to overcome it. Collectively, these four residents of the maze make us question, how do we deal with change? Do we sniff it out, scurry into action, hem in denial, or eventually haw our way to adaptation? Each choice in response to change, a moved cheese, charts a path through our own mazes, our careers, relationships, and personal lives. This simple but profound allegory invites you to consider, in this vast, ever-changing maze, who are you? Imagine waking up one day to find that your source of nourishment, your very livelihood, has suddenly vanished. This is precisely the predicament faced by the characters in our tale. Cheese Station C, once a bustling hub of activity and abundance, is suddenly barren. The cheese is gone. Sniff and Scurry, the smaller characters in this fable, are the first to notice the change. Their reactions are quick and unemotional. They don't overanalyze or bemoan their loss. Instead, they immediately accept the reality of the missing cheese and waste no time. They strap on their running shoes and head off into the maze in search of new cheese. On the flip side, Hem and Haw, the little people in the story, embody the human element with all its complexities and emotions. The disappearance of the cheese hits them hard. They had grown comfortable with the status quo, relying on the cheese to be there every day. Comfort had turned to complacency. Where Sniff and Scurry have agility and speed, Hem and Haw are weighed down by their disbelief and sense of entitlement. Who moved my cheese? They wonder angrily. They feel victimized by the change and unprepared for this sudden shift. This moment sets the stage for the entire story and frames the central question of how we all deal with change. Do we see it as an end, or do we see it as a new beginning? As Sniff and Scurry move swiftly into action, Hem and Haw's hesitation and shock are a mirror to our own potential reactions when life inevitably shifts under our feet. It's a powerful reminder that while we may not control the change, we do control how we respond to it. So listeners, what kind of character are you when change occurs? Do you immediately adapt and search for new opportunities? Or do you find yourself paralyzed, longing for what once was? The tale of Cheese Station C reveals a profound truth about the nature of change and sets the scene for the lessons to come. Stay with us as we dive deeper into this journey through change, challenging ourselves to ask, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And then it happens. The cheese is no more. Our four little lives in the maze are shaken to their cores. Sniff and Scurry, those embodiment of proactive attitudes, waste no time. Their little legs scurry them off in search of new cheese, unfazed by the sudden upheaval. It's an instinctive reaction for them, a direct leap into action at the first whiff of change. On the flip side, Hem and Haw are stunned into stillness. Their day-to-day bliss shattered. Disbelief grips them. Who moved my cheese? They ask, echoing the very question we ask ourselves when life suddenly shifts. This is where the tale deep dives into the psyche of comfort and discomfort. Hem and Haw, they're us when we grow complacent, anchoring our happiness onto things we cannot control. They stand there in the empty cheese station, hoping for a miracle, unwilling to accept that their cheese is gone for good. This moment spotlights the quintessential human struggle with the unexpected. While Sniff and Scurry have moved on, Hem and Haw remain, paralyzed by their attachment to the way things were, a comfort zone that no longer exists. The shock of change is real. As Hem and Haw's reactions show, it's not just the loss that's daunting, but the idea of having to start over, to search, to find, and to adapt. It's a powerful moment in the story, a reflection of our own lives when the cheese we've grown so accustomed to suddenly vanishes. And now let's dive into how our four little characters deal with the shaking reality of their missing cheese. Sniff and Scurry, the two mice, waste no time. These tiny creatures don't overanalyze or get bogged down by complex emotions. They simply observe the change and spring into action. The loss of cheese? Merely a signal to move on and hunt for more. It's this primal instinct that often gives these little guys the upper hand in the maze of life. On the other hand, Hem and Haw, the little people with complex brains and emotions, well, they don't take it so lightly. They feel betrayed, angered, even victimized. Hem is adamant, refusing to accept the reality that the cheese is gone, as if denial could somehow bring it back. Haw, though initially hesitant and sharing Hem's sentiments, starts to perceive things differently after witnessing the futility of their current situation. This dichotomy of responses is at the heart of Who Moved My Cheese? The question isn't just about who reacts, but how, and most importantly, how quickly. It's a nudge to us, the readers, prompting us to reflect. Are we more like the mice, swift to adapt, or do we resonate more with the little people, resisting change until it becomes unbearable? The maze awaits, and like our characters, we've got choices to make. Stay tuned as we explore what happens next and what decisions our little people make in this journey through the twisting corridors of change. So we've come to a pivotal turn in our story, where Haw, who's been paralyzed by fear after the disappearance of the cheese, begins to see the light. He starts realizing that change doesn't necessarily mean the end of the world. It can also mean the start of something new, something better. With this realization, he chuckles at the absurdity of his previous fears, scribbles, "What would I do if I wasn't afraid?" on the wall, and decides it's time to venture into the unknown. It's a big step, especially considering his partner Hem is adamant about staying put, hoping the cheese will miraculously reappear. But Haw musters his courage. He understands that staying in the cheeseless station is futile. The message is resonating through the maze and through our own lives. Fear can be crippling, and the only way to overcome it is to move beyond it. Haw's journey is fraught with challenges, but with each step, he grows. He imagines the taste of new cheese, propelling him forward and transforming his journey into a quest. He doesn't know where the new cheese is, but he knows that it's out there somewhere. With each movement, the fear starts to wane and hope begins to grow. Listeners, Haw's journey is a powerful reminder to us all. Sometimes we need to let go of the old and take the leap into new endeavors despite our apprehension. Change is not just about loss, it's about finding new opportunities, even if it means journeying alone for a while and leaving behind what once felt comfortable. It's about trusting the process and, most importantly, trusting yourself. As Haw presses forward through the twisting paths of the maze, his journey evolves into more than a mere search for cheese. It becomes a quest filled with discoveries, insights written on the walls, literally and figuratively. These profound handwritings are lessons that Haw uncovers, but they are also for us, the audience, to take to heart. One of Haw's earliest realizations is the simple truth: if you do not change, you can become extinct. It resonates deeply as Haw understands that stagnation is not a survival strategy, but rather a slow march to obsolescence. Then, as he wanders further, feeling the pangs of hunger but fueled by hope, he finds another writing. What would you do if you weren't afraid? This inquiry pushes him and us to contemplate the power of fear and how it often holds us back from embracing new chapters. Another lesson comes to light. Smell the cheese often so you know when it's getting old. This is about vigilance, about being attuned to the early signs of change so as not to be caught off guard. As the cheese stands for what we desire in life, the lesson implies we should regularly assess our circumstances. Later, a powerful epiphany. Movement in a new direction helps find new cheese. Haw comprehends that motion is progress, even if it's into the unknown, because that's where new opportunities lay. It's a call to action for all of us, to move, to pivot, to adapt, and not to wallow in yesterday's comforts. And perhaps the most encouraging of all the messages Ha finds as he overcomes his fears and uncertainty is, when you let go of your old cheese, you find new cheese. It's about release, about shedding the old to make way for the new. Each lesson is a stepping stone that guides Ha, and by extension guides us, through the inexorable changes of life, illustrating that wisdom and growth often lie just past the barriers of our comfort zones. In the maze of life, sometimes it feels like we're running endlessly, doesn't it? But as Ha comes to discover, the running isn't in vain. Picture this. After much struggle and overcoming his own fears, Ha stumbles upon a large stash of new cheese. It's a eureka moment that comes to define his entire journey. And here's the kicker. The new cheese had been there all this time waiting to be discovered. Think about it. How often do we pass by opportunities because we're too afraid to explore or too comfortable in our routines? Ha's discovery is a powerful reminder that opportunities don't vanish. They just wait to be found by those who are willing to search for and embrace them. This part of Ha's tale stirs up a profound truth. When we move past our fears, we could be moving closer to a new abundance we never imagined. It nudges us to contemplate whether the cheese we're searching for might just be around the corner, waiting for a little courage from us to reach out and grab it. And it's not just about the physical cheese, it's also about fulfillment, growth, and new beginnings. So what's your new cheese? Are you ready to lace up your sneakers, head into the maze with fresh eyes, and find it? So after following Ha's enlightening journey, what are we to take away from Who Moved My Cheese? At its heart, the story is a call to action, to stay alert to change. It's all about being proactive, with your senses sharp, and anticipating the shifting tides rather than settling in too deeply into comfort zones. Adapting quickly to change is a central theme in this parable. The quicker we let go of our old cheese, our old comforts and habits, the sooner we can enjoy new cheese that awaits us. Ha's hesitance at first, followed by his brave venture into the unknown, reinforces the idea that being mired in complacency is a dangerous game to play. And what of comfort? Well, it's not all bad, of course. We all need that sense of security and contentment. But the story serves as a potent reminder that we must be cautious. When we hang on to the comfort that's gone stagnant, refusing the signs all around us that it's time to move forward, we put ourselves at risk of being left behind, like Hem. As we wrap our thoughts around the escapades of Sniff, Scurry, Hem, and Haw, consider your own life. Where might you be resisting change? Are there places where it might serve you to sniff out new opportunities, or perhaps to scurry ahead without overthinking? Or to draw from Ha's insights, can you paint a picture so vivid of your new cheese that it overpowers the fear of leaving the old behind? Change is not just a possibility, it's an inevitability. Let's prepare ourselves, not just to expect it or dread it, but to embrace it and turn it into an opportunity for growth and discovery. After all, isn't the quest for new cheese, or whatever it is that we seek for fulfillment, one of the most thrilling parts of the maze that is life? And that, dear listeners, brings us to the end of our journey through the maze of Spencer Johnson's Who Moved My Cheese? What a fascinating exploration of how we confront and can triumph over the inevitabilities of change. Now it's over to you. How do you respond when your cheese is moved? Do you sniff out the new opportunities, scurry into action, hem with hesitation, or haw until you can finally laugh at your fears and move on? Reflect on this, let the lessons marinate, and perhaps share your insights with someone who might be stuck in their own maze. I want to thank you all for lending me your ears and spending part of your day here with us at Knol. Until next time, keep moving, keep adapting, but most importantly, keep reading.